Hey everyone, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD, and today we are reviewing and analyzing chapter 211 of Dr. Stone. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I think I might get some backlash on this review. It was a good chapter, do not get me wrong, but there's a couple of thoughts I have about something that I need to get off my chest if you've been following me for a while, you probably know what I'm going to say based upon the last chapter. But before I get into that, if this is your first time on my channel or you've been here before but haven't done so already, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, bang that bell. Please support an up-and-coming YouTuber. And yeah, just look out for a homie. It would mean the world. Join my League of Otaku. Anyway, without much further ado, let's get into the review. Alright guys, we're here. Chapter 211 of Dr. Stone, World Tour for Resources. And I'm not even gonna wait till the end. I just wanted to jump into what I wanted to say. We are wrapping up the series. For a while now, it seemed like things have been sped up. The pace has been rapidly increasing. But I didn't think we were at the point where the journey would end this chapter pretty much. That's kind of what it seems like. Yeah, man, to be real with you, it seems like this series will end in 40. Actually, honestly, I think that's me being rather optimistic. I don't see this series going further than, I'm saying 30 to 40. Originally, before I recorded this video, I was saying 50, but I just don't, at the pace they're going, I don't see this going past 40 chapters unless it's one of those situations where the real story begins after they get to the moon. But I want to talk about some of my disappointment. So before I do that, let's talk about what happened in this chapter. Because like I said, I had no problem with this chapter. It was a good chapter. And this is just something I've been talking about for quite some time in terms of the pacing. But, we immediately leave the last place we were at. We go over to Indonesia. We're trying to, we're getting rice, we're getting rubber. Things are moving so fast. It used to be where anytime he built something new, we got to enjoy a roadmap to it. We got to see the science behind it and how things worked. We're no longer doing that. We've been kind of skipping roadmaps for quite some time now. We've been skipping development for quite some time now. And I can understand that maybe to other readers, that part's not important, but to me, I rather enjoyed that. Even just here or there, streamlining it and maybe just showing a little bit of development, which they were kind of doing before, and I had a problem with, but they were at least kind of showing development before. Now we have I don't know what the name of it is, but we have the machine that plants plants the rice and whatnot. I found out that this is our actual last stop, and we need a lot of electricity to make aluminum for the rocket, and so that's going to be done back in Japan. So we've completed our world tour basically, as the title says, and we're going to end up back in Japan. We've established all our important cities and our strongholds and everything like that, and it looks like it's just after this chapter, it's straight up get to Japan. And I don't know if we're going to have a journey or if we're going to straight up get there. And then once we're at Japan, make the rocket ship. And then once again, based upon how they've been going about this, if it's going to be a bada bing, bada boom, rocket ship's done kind of deal. Because we didn't spend much time on the building of the Perseus. Zeno has been working on stuff on his own. So, it could possibly, reasonably, be done. So I don't know, man. It just rubs me the wrong way. I'm excited that we're closer to finding out what Y-Man is, but and this could possibly be just a personal quirk of mine. Please do not take any offense to this. This could just be an absolute personal issue that I have. Let me know in the comments, please, if you feel this way or if I'm alone in this. It's totally cool. We all have different opinions and stuff. And honestly, I think part of it is I'm spoiled by One Piece, where there's just so much world building and fleshing out of the story and the plot that like I expect that in all of my series now. But I just really miss the time where, you know, you had Tsukasa, where like we had, you know, the whole Brain versus Brawn dilemma. We had an arc about that. Then we had, you know, the Ishigami village, and we got to, you know, story build about that and learn about that. Then we had, you know, the other Stone Age people that had the Medusa technology around them, and it was like science versus culture and groupthink. And then we had, you know, Senku versus, this was the last great arc in my opinion, Senku versus Zeno, and that was science versus science. And in my opinion, that kind of ended a little bit too short. I really wanted to see these two scientific combatants go at it a little bit more, but I was okay with it because I was like, okay, he's trying to continue the storyline. Xenos joined us. I still think it was a little quick how they were quick to join our side, but I got it to a degree. But like, I don't know if I can ride with this for much longer. And when I say that, I'm not giving up the series. I'm just saying, like, with just kind of being like, I'm okay with this, I'm okay with this, I'm okay with this. I'm really not okay with how quickly this is progressing. The only way in which I would be okay is, like I said earlier, is if getting to the moon brings us into like this great final arc, right? So before I get into that, like I said, it just sucks to me that the author did not take the time and the opportunity to explore these people being not reincarnated, depetrified, right? Like, there has to be so much at play here, you know, from the people being thankful, from opposing viewpoints and wills, for opposing ideas. Like, just the fact that Senku was able to depetrify everyone, and they're just instantly like, yeah, cool, we'll do this, we'll mine, we'll farm, we'll cook, all this stuff I don't like. I really wanted to meet all these different cultures. I really wanted to see like the clashes. I really wanted to see power struggles. I really wanted to see a lot more from this series, and I expected a lot more, especially with how this series started. And I don't know, maybe I should do some research. I just don't know if the editors rushed him, or maybe the mangaka has another project he wants to get to or attend to, or maybe he just wants to get to the end of the story. But like, man, I am just not a fan of how quickly everything's been going. And for the longest time, I've just kind of been like, it's fine, I understand he needs to do this, he needs to do that. But like, now after this chapter, realizing that like, oh, we're like done. We're like done. And that for me is a problem. And like I said, I would really enjoy if it was a situation where, okay, the main, like, this, like, the moon is the new world for Dr. Stone. And I'm really sorry to keep comparing it to One Piece. I know it's its own series, but I'm just trying to use analogies here and there to, you know, like, make kind of an understanding so that you guys can see where I'm coming from with this. But like, basically the moon is the new world, and that's where the story starts. And we get there, we find out like XYZ, this is why I petrified you guys. This is why all of this is happening. We need to prepare for, there's an invasion coming, or you guys are on track to use up all your resources, or there's some kind of virus. I don't know, something. And then from there we get into this new this new wave of science fiction. We get introduced to new technology. Senku gets to learn scientific principles he's never heard of before. Because you have to realize the Medusa is some really, really out there technology that just is way more advanced than anything humans could have come up with the technology we have. So it has to be, in my opinion, some sort of aliens involved. And also, you know, it would be really cool if, you know, possibly there were some descendants of like the moon people, maybe petrified on there to preserve themselves. I'm pretty sure this is where I things get a little hazy. I should reread the series. I'm pretty sure the people on the moon they did come back. Yeah, they did come back. Never mind. I was gonna say there might be people up there still petrified that they could depetrify and learn more knowledge from. But like, I'm just frustrated because I just feel like with the way this series is going, it's not living up to its full potential, and that kind of hurts and bothers and perturbs me. Like, why are you in such a rush to end this phenomenal series? And yeah, all series don't need to go to like 600, 700, 1,000 chapters. That's definitely not necessary. Like Promised Neverland is a series that ended at a good place. There are many series that end in a good place, and that's more important at the end of the day than forcing a series to go on. But I don't know. It's just something is just not sitting right with me about the progression of this story, and I would really, really appreciate it if you guys could weigh in. Am I just over exaggerating? Am I upset because my idea of what I thought the story would be and how it would progress is not coming to fruition? I am totally receptive to criticism on that aspect, so please feel free to leave me some, because I have some more shit that unfortunately I was upset about. Another thing I was upset about was, so the idea is to make this rocket journey a one-way trip, correct? A one-way trip, Senku gets there, saves the Earth, saves the planet, whatever. Which honestly is super reckless. I don't understand how he thinks Earth can manage without him. Actually, well, no. Earth can manage without him, because if everyone gets depetrified, all the scientists and all the smart people will come back. Senku won't be the only genius on the planet, so I can understand him not being necessary anymore, except in terms of the fact of kind of controlling everything. Because once again, I think that would be an interesting aspect to the story of when people come back. The fighting over land and resources and the reconstruction of of society and the hierarchy and social standings, right? For how would Ryusui enforce his money management and payment? All the individual countries and nations and whatnot aren't going to go for that, aren't just going to randomly accept that. They're not going to randomly accept the rules. They're not going to be okay. Everyone's going to prioritize their own survival. Nations aren't going to share resources. It's going to be hectic. It's going to be complicated. And I want to delve deep into that. I want to delve deep into the political aspect and the social aspect, the societal aspect. And I don't think we're going to get that. I kind of have a feeling that even if there is some kind of big bad, even when that's resolved, it's just going to be a matter of, okay, well, everything worked out, everyone's happy to be depetrified, and we're just moving on. And that just doesn't sit right with me. That's not human nature, and it just does not compute. The last issue I had with the direction the series is heading, and something in this last chapter was Chrome, like I was saying before, how Senku wants this to be a one-way trip. Is hell no, no man left behind. That doesn't sit right with me. We're gonna make a return ship, right? And that's cool. That's very noble. I'm about it. But he somehow plans on doing this with just him and Suika. And don't get me wrong, I understand that they're intelligent. I understand that they're the novice scientists of the group. Chrome has established himself to be really ingenious, ingenuitive, and whatnot. He's able to it's one thing. Senku is in a league of his own simply because he's a genius. But at the end of the day, he had knowledge of all the theories and all the knowledge and information of the past, right? He had that knowledge. Chrome didn't. And so for him to be coming up with ideas on the fly, it's almost as if he is reinventing things himself. Senku technically isn't. He's just remaking things that have already quote-unquote existed, right? But to Chrome, all the things he's come up with, the ideas he's made, are foreign to him. So for him to come up with them on his own is some true genius shit. It really is. And so I do not want at all anyone to think I am putting any disrespect towards his abilities. But rocket science is rocket science. That's why the epitome of something not being hard is, hey man, it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. It's because rocket science is on that level of super difficulty. they even use the expression, it's not brain surgery, because those are the highest levels of difficulty when it comes to something. So that's why they use that phrase, that saying, right? And so we are actually working with rocket science here, and he thinks that without the help of Senku, and I'm assuming without the help of Zeno, he is going to accurately create a return ship without either Senku knowing or without his help. Yes, he's getting help from a mathematician, but the mathematician can only help him with the mathematical aspects of it, right? Only that alone. There's so much that goes into space travel and return that I just do not understand how he will be able to overcome with just him and Suika. For a lot of my reviews, especially if you've been here for a lot of my reviews, I've always said that as much as I like the scientific aspect of this series, there's always been a level of suspension of disbelief that you've had to apply. I've always said that. And I've always been okay with that, because at the end of the day, this is a shonen manga. Yes, it has, roots in science, but at the end of the day, it's a shonen manga. And so you have to use suspension of disbelief, but with how quickly they're accomplishing things, with how insanely easy things are working out for them, and now this, where we have people that should have no business, because it should take years of schooling to be able to do something like that, are planning on making a return ship. I don't know. Like I said, please let me know in the comments what you guys think. But I don't want this to take away from this chapter. It was a great chapter. I'm just having pacing issues. I'm really hating the fact that this series that I love so much is on its way out. Do you guys agree with me on my prediction that this is about 30 to 40 chapters away from being finished? Personally, I think if we start getting into some space warfare type shit where we're being invaded or something's happening, it'll be maybe even more than it'll be we can bump it up to 50 to 70 chapters if that's the case. I also want to know, there's a big thing that was revealed that honestly would serve no real purpose unless something were to happen, and that's the fact that we found out the Medusas had the potential to revive the dead, right? Because in my opinion, Tsukasa was never dead. He was in a cryostasis, right? And we've seen that the Medusa, as long as you're quote unquote alive, as long as you can be perfectly attached and whatnot, it can cure you. So even in a cryostasis, because I believe even now, cryostasis is possible in the real world. Possible right now, it is possible to keep a person alive via cryostasis. The problem comes in when it's time to reintegrate them into the land of the living and get all the coagulants out their blood and all that stuff, yada yada yada. That there's no success in that currently, and so that's where the Medusa takes over. So I don't know if you can just be straight up dead. Obviously this wouldn't work for skeletons because they don't have a system anymore to sustain life. But if you died of old age, perhaps, and I'm wondering if maybe we'll experiment with Kaseki in that regard. He's the oldest, so it would make more sense for him to be the one to croak. And it would be a perfect situation where there's no real injuries to the body. It's just his heart giving out. We can test it on him. But yeah, man, I simply do not know. There's a lot of setup. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm just at this point, I'm just more interested to know what you guys think, what the community thinks, because I am at a loss. I'm not unhappy with the series, but I definitely wouldn't say I'm happy with the direction it's going. I'm really hoping that there's some kind of twist, there's some kind of extra plot, because I just do not like this mad dash to the finish line. Anyway, I will leave the review here for now. Really, like I said, good chapter. Artwork was phenomenal as usual. I love the knowledge about the rice, and I love the part where I had to Google indica rice, and I was like, rice comes in indica? Yes, it does. It even comes in, it is part of a sativa strain of rice. So that was something new I learned. And then we learned that, because Indonesia lies around the equator area, that they can make rice year-round pretty much. And I learned more about agriculture because normally it would deplete the ground of its nutrients. And they used ash, nitric acid to make some really good fertilizers. So, like, once again, I love the learning aspect of this series. That's always been enjoyable, but yeah, man, kind of sad that, it seems like our journey's coming to an end. It's going to be, don't get me wrong, like 30 chapters is still like a couple of years. 30, 40 chapters is still a couple of years, but still sad nonetheless. Anyway, I'm going to leave you here for today. Thank you for tuning in and watching Otaku Talk with me, your host, OD. Please like, share, and subscribe. Join my league. Otaku would mean the world to me. And yeah, just have a great day. Let me know about your thoughts. Peace.